I'm going to do some cooking tonight. And let's see. You can tell what I'm making with this. It actually looks a lot like that. But yes, I am making pancit. Sorry, I don't mean to like get all right up on the phone, but I have my phone stuck up on the vent up here above the stove so you guys can watch me chop. So let's get started. So the first thing that I'm going to be cutting up is going to be the onions. So I'm going to start off with the green onions. I'm usually not a big onion person, but I'm not cooking just for myself tonight. So more the merrier. I'm just going to cut off these end pieces real quick. And you guys probably are going to be hearing some talking and the TV going on in the background, but that's okay. It is Friday night. Happy Friday. I think right now they're watching the news, but I heard there was supposed to be some game coming on that they're going to watch. So it might sound like there's a party going on, but that's all right. That's okay. But although I'm not a big onion flavor, I'm not big on onions, I do like the flavor that it gives. So, and again, it's not just me that's going to be enjoying this pancit. So in case you didn't read the description in the description box, it is a Philippine-inspired dish that is truly and absolutely enjoyed on my beautiful island of Guam. So it's not just, and you know, it can be made with the egg noodles. It can be made with rice noodles, which is what I prefer. So right now I just have this tiny bowl, and I do apologize. I'll be checking the chat every now and then. But this is what I have so far for the onions. And then the next one is going to be, this is the sweet onion. So, but if you are joining, welcome. Good evening. So again, this is the sweet onion that I'm chopping right here. Probably should not have done it this way, but I'm sure everyone has their own way of being able to chop the onions. And this is how I do it. I'm definitely no professional chef. So this just all comes from, you know, just me cooking for my family, cooking for friends. So do you guys actually use these pieces of the onion when you guys are cutting them? Because most of the time when I watch any cooking show, sometimes I see it being used and then sometimes I don't. Most of the time, I don't use it, so. And these don't have to be minced. It's okay that they're going to be choppy. I'm going to have big pieces, small pieces. That's okay. I don't want the onions to disappear completely, you know, when they're being cooked. So that's why I'm okay with having chunky pieces. It's definitely more onions. And This is supposed to be the sweet onion, but it's still making me cry. But that's okay. The end product is going to be worth these tears. I don't know if you can hear her. That's one of my nieces in the living room. Oh, I'm so crying over here. All right, so I got this big bowl. Well, okay, it's not a big bowl, but it's bigger than the bowl that I was using for the green onions. All right, so I got sweet onion. I've got the green onion ready. And now we're going to do the bell peppers. So the vegetables that I'm putting into my pancit are, as you already saw, with the onions. I've got bell peppers, cabbage, and then one less thing for me to chop. I've also got shredded carrots that I'm going to be putting into the pancit. That's one less thing. So I like the pre-shredded ones, so definitely comes in handy. I should be using a smaller knife, really, for this. I've got the orange. I've got the yellow. And I've also got red. So I like the color that it's going to give. And then I've got the orange also coming from the carrots. So I like visually having, you know, these kind of vegetables in there. Because, like I said, it just adds more pop with the color. And then, of course, with the green coming from the cabbage as well. But I personally like using these mini bell peppers because even though they're good flavor, it's not as strong as using the regular size ones. And I know some of the packaging for these mini bell peppers, they say they're sweet. I wouldn't know. All I know is that it's good flavor and it's not as strong as the normal size. All right, let me see if I can find a slightly smaller knife. Nope. Ha ha. That's a slightly smaller knife. But let's check in. Let's see who's here. Terry. Hi, good evening. Thank you for being here. I know I missed out on watching your live stream earlier when you went to the craft store. Hope you had fun. All right, let's get back to the chopping. Okay. Let's just clean these up a little bit. Because I know sometimes they have these bell peppers that are even seedless. And what's funny was, you know, because I do like watching cooking shows. And I watched Gordon Ramsay, uh, what do you call that? When he cuts his bell peppers, he uses the regular size. But definitely, definitely not the way I learned to cut them. I mean, when he's got that big piece, he doesn't cut the ends like I did with this one, where I cut one end and then the tip on the other side. He actually just cuts it down the sides. So when you're done, you're basically still ending up with pieces like this. And so it just seems like it's you know, a little bit faster doing it that way. I've yet to try it because, like I said, I mostly use the mini bell peppers. So Terry, if you're still there, I don't know if you've ever cut the bell peppers that way. You know, when you're getting them into the side pieces like these. But I'm going to try and remember the next time I have to, the next time I'm using a regular size bell pepper, I'm going to try. So does it sound like I'm got a party going on? But don't you know that especially when you've got, you know, a handful of your family all together, it's always a party. It's a good thing. I don't know if you guys can hear what they're talking about, but if you can't, then thank goodness, because TMI, TMI. But in case there's anybody else popping in, I am just prepping the ingredients to make pancit. I'm using rice noodles, and I've got, which I've prepping right now, the bell peppers. I've already cut the green and white onions. All right, so let's go ahead and prep these. I kind of like making these into strips too, kind of like the carrot sticks. And then I still cut them in half. I mean, some of these will actually disappear, like these really small pieces as they're being cooked. But that's okay, because the vegetable may disappear, but the flavor is going to be there. I guess going live twice today is going to make up for, I missed going live yesterday because we were day one, I guess, of celebrating my mother-in-law's birthday. So if you're in the live right now, and I'll pass the message on to her, if y'all could wish my mother-in-law a very happy and sweet 75th birthday. I'm cutting these like sideways, horizontal and vertical. That's okay. Now they're talking about cats. So after I prep the veggies, I've got to cut the pork chops, because pork chops and shrimp are going to be the protein in my pancit. Like I said, with this noodle dish, there are so many different variations, and this just happens to be one of them. It's like they're getting ready to watch a game. Texas in the house. So there's my bell peppers. I thought about getting the green, but I like the yellow, the orange, and the red. That is going to be mixed with the carrots. Yeah, I'm using at least half the bag. I'm going to be making lumpia tomorrow, and I might end up having to get some more. Alright, so we got that. I'm just going to clean this off real quick, because one of the other things that I'm going to prep is I got to do the cabbage. That's so Rayleigh. All right. All right, let's do another pop-in. I don't know if there's anybody watching, but let's see. Thy cabbage head. Thank you, Terry, for still being here. All right, let's get back to chopping. It's already been rinsed, and I peeled out the outer layers. I'm definitely going to be using the bigger knife for this one. Let me just give this a quick rinse. I always go for the smallest cabbage because I don't always end up using all of it. So definitely with these, I keep them chunky. It is one of the last things I add to the pancit while it's cooking, because cabbage doesn't take long at all to cook. And then basically from here, I pretty much just break it up, and I get big pieces, little pieces, that's okay. These really long ones, I will sometimes just break them in half. South Carolina. So I don't know. I don't know what they're watching. I don't know if it's basketball or what. All right. So I got my cabbage. I got my bell peppers and carrots. And then I've got my green and white onions. I'm debating on whether to add more cabbage, because I know a lot of this, it might end up disappearing. But this is the pot I'm using. So I'm wondering if I should add a little bit more cabbage. Nah, that's okay. That's all right. I'll save this for another day. Maybe I'll put it in my lumpia. Who knows? All right, so we're done with the veggies. Now it is time to do the meat. So I am using boneless pork. Ooh, I'm still smelling that onion.
Good. Can I come in and just get a sniff?
Oh, I'm not cooking yet. It's all just prepping. That's the onions you're smelling.
Oh, it smells good.
I got green and white onions. I got me some bell peppers.
Okay. I smell it.
That was my brother-in-law that just walked into the kitchen. It's like, I ain't cooking yet. That's the onions you're smelling. Now I'm going to have some that are, these strips are a little bit on the long side, so I'm going to go ahead and cut them down. So I might have some that are going to be longer than others. So it's going to be kind of a mix of big pieces, little pieces, because we want to make sure that, you know, everybody has a chance to get a little bit of the meat. You know what I mean? I would hate to take a scoop of the pancit and then, you know, like, where'd all the meat go? Come to find out that, whoops, it was all taken by one person? Nah, that won't be fair. South Carolina. So like I said, I'm going to have big pieces and I'm going to have little pieces. And it's okay that I'm keeping some of the fat on there, because as I'm sauteing it, you know, it makes it a little bit easier. Some of that oil will get on there, and plus, you know, It provides flavor.
Hey, you remember Donna said Chloe her dog. It was on Chloe.
My brother-in-law is doing his best not to be screaming in there. Yeah, it's after 7 o'clock here in South Carolina, and once I'm actually done prepping everything, the whole cooking process is about 20 minutes, so we're probably not going to be eating until closer to 8 o'clock. But you don't work tomorrow, right, Zach?
No.
All right, so that's okay. We're eating a little bit late.
Yeah. 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 I'm good. The game's still gonna be on.
What game is this, anyways?
Carolina and Texas.
No, I meant what sport? Sorry, what sport?
Basketball.
Ah.
Girls basketball. Yeah. Oh, good. There you go. There you go.
Now, sometimes if the fat is a little too much, you know, I'll still trim that off. Probably should have gotten one more package of the boneless pork.
Yeah. Come on, Ray.
Just make some more small pieces, so everybody can have a chance to get some meat. I know I said I was going to have some bigger chunks in here, but I want to make sure everyone's going to have a chance to get some meat to eat along with the noodles and the veggies, you know? Just some of the chunkier pieces, cutting a little smaller. But this is what I got left. All right, let's clear this up and get to cooking.
Okay, okay.
All right. Alright. Yeah, I had to get... That's the downside. A lot of the times when I'm cutting meat, I try to wear gloves. Alright. Let's see. All messages. Alright. Hey everybody. Happy Friday. So if you're just now popping in, I am making pancit. I just got through prepping the veggies and the meat. I've still got the shrimp in the freezer, and that's going to be one of the last things that I'm going to add because I don't, you know, it's already pre-cooked. So that'll be towards the end. Actually, what I might end up doing is once I cook the meat, the the veggies I might. I'm wondering if once I cook the meat and the shrimp and the veggies, that, and with the sauce, and that's what I forgot. I can't believe I forgot that. Because I'm always just running the recipe through my head, and I knew I was forgetting something. Doggone it. So I have the soy sauce and I have the oyster sauce, but I forgot my chicken broth. Let me check with my sister-in-law to see if she has any. Hey, Abe. Do you guys have? I keep doing this. Chicken broth. I keep forgetting to get chicken broth. The bouillon cubes? Chicken? All right, I can do that. Okay. I can work with the bouillon.
We have that
Cause that'll still work.
I love this stuff.
Okay. Oh, that definitely will work.
Yeah, I love that stuff.
Better than I thought.
Be careful. I thought you ran into it.
No, I thought it was still pointed down. I was going to show this.
Oh.
So I don't know if you guys have ever used this one before, but it's better than bouillon. So this will still work. I just have to add more water since this is concentrated. But let's get to cooking. All right. So the shrimp is going to be one of the last things that I'm going to add because it is pre-cooked. So, all right. Do I want the large burner? Yes. And I am going to use a little bit of olive oil to saute. I end up using all their olive oil. Oops. Let me see, do we have any more? No, that's okay. That is okay. That should be enough. All right, as soon as this gets a little bit hot, I will dump in the green and white onions. Silicone. I like silicone. Definitely can handle the heat better. But once the pot itself gets a little hot, I am going to saute the onions. And sometimes the way you can test that out is by just tossing one in there here in a couple of minutes. But while that is cooking, what are y'all having for dinner tonight? Yes, you use that. You're getting ready to go to my fish fry. Ooh, yummy. Hey, half a day. What are you cooking tonight? We must get steamed out of you. Well, that is true. I'm probably going to have to move my phone to where it is not coming straight up. Right now I've got it the only thing is, let me see, how am I going to do this? Because I don't have anything. I can't even hook it to the wall over here because I didn't bring my selfie stick to be able to. I don't think this is going to hook up to the Nope. It won't hook up to that. And I already tried hooking it up to the fridge that's right here. I don't know if it's gonna. All right, let's try it right here. Let me just borrow this for a minute. All right.
Yeah, but they're still around campus. I wouldn't do that to a little guy. People, I love those little
Yeah. I don't know if it's gonna hold the phone. There we go.
What are you trying to do?
I'm just trying to find a different spot. Oh. One. Oh. Can you, darn it, now I made the pot get too hot. Now I made it get too hot. Sorry. That's the downside about not having proper selfie equipment. Now I gotta let the pot cool down for a minute. I'm trying to stick it right here. Let's see.
It's probably not gonna stick up there because when
It
you
did.
fry stuff and whatnot, you know. Yeah, well, you're just gonna drop your phone and stuff.
Yeah, but I'm not having anything on this side.
Huh?
I said I'm not having anything on this side.
Okay.
Thanks for reminding me. No. Nope, I still can't fit that there. Oh my goodness. So stove is making me hot. Can I just prop this up? I said the stove is making me hot. Okay.
So stoves do.
Yeah, I know. All right, let's try. Let's try one. All right, now we're starting with the green onion. I mean the white. I like to use the sweet, not just the regular yellow onion. The yellow onion to me is more potent. That can really make you cry as you cut them. So the way I do this is that I actually saute the onions until it starts to slightly go clear or translucent. And then I'm going to add the green onions. And then I add the veggies minus the cabbage, because the cabbage is, along with the shrimp, is one of the last things I add. I'm just trying to break up a lot of the pieces that I was cutting up, because they're all still kind of stuck together. See, like I said, with the sweet onion, I love the flavor, and it's not as potent in reference to trying to make you cry. Alright, it's going to be at least another minute. And then I'm going to toss in the green onion. I can probably still chop up a little bit more of the green onion towards the end and throw in some fresh green onions. Probably like around the time that I throw in the cabbage. We'll see.
She heard, she tried to get in the zone and post up, and she wasn't there. Because she wasn't in the zone. That's why she got fouled. No, she didn't foul. I just told you. She tried to post up. Yeah, she tried to post up. And she
Like I
wasn't there.
said, I usually try to, you know, cook it until it has a little bit of that translucency to it. And then I toss that one in. Sorry, crazy camera work here.
Get that down. Get it down.
And then I'm probably not going to wait too long after I toss in the green onion. And then I'm going to add the veggies so they can start to cook. And then a couple of minutes after I add the veggies, I'm going to add the bouillon. Just a little bit of it before I start sauteing the pork. Can you guys smell that? All right, back to the corner for y'all. I need both hands. Now, when we had the food truck and I was making pancit, because growing up I've only ever known pancit to have meat in it, you know, any type of protein. But, you know, we would always get requests about what type of vegetarian dish do you serve? And, what do you call that? So I was just like, well, you know, we would have our egg fried rice, but then I figured out to make the pancit a vegetarian dish. Instead of using the chicken broth, I would use veggie broth, and I just wouldn't add any protein to it, just more veggies. I mean, granted, you know, we didn't have a whole lot of people coming over for vegetarian dish, because we had chicken and ribs. We had chicken, we had ribs, we had beef smoked sausage. So having a vegetarian dish didn't happen often, other than when I offered the pancit, because I know I could make pancit an all veggie dish. But I get in here and saute the veggies before I actually add the pork, because you don't want to overcook the pork. Hi, Connie. Yes, I do. Thank you for joining. Happy Friday. How are you? So you just came in time. We are, here, let me do it this way, making pancit. So I've got the onions and the veggies sauteing right now. And then here in a minute, I'm going to throw in the pork chops. What are you having for dinner tonight? Doing good. Here in South Carolina, we've been here since Monday. We drove out from Texas. And we're here until next Monday. But we're celebrating my mother-in-law's birthday, which took place yesterday. But it's going to be kind of like a weekend-long thing. So We had tacos yesterday. Today I'm making pancit. Tomorrow my brother-in-law is cooking her steak, and I'm making lumpia tomorrow. But right now I'm just trying to make sure that the veggies are going to cook a little bit more before I add the pork chop. No worries. Understandable. I'm just glad that you were able to pop in. But I'm going to wait another minute. And then I'm going to add the better than bouillon chicken. I mean, no worries, no worries. But I'm going to be adding this with some water. I'm just using the same bowl that I had the vegetables sitting in. This sucker is open, and I'm still having... Okay, there we go. Oh my goodness. All right.
They call foul on her. Why should they call foul? Oh no! You know what? That one I done said, you know what? Why did he call foul?
Because she ran up on her, yeah.
Just trying to get a little bit of the... my brother-in-law is wondering how many subs you have. Okay, so as of this live stream, the last time I had checked before I started it, I was sitting at 907. So I've still got just over 2 weeks to get my 1,000 subs and to get the rest of my watch hours, which I'm still sitting at about 700 watch hours to go. All right. Let's go ahead and add this pork. I've actually got the pork. I kind of made a circle with the veggies. So some of the meat can have direct contact with the bottom of the pan.
The night that she got into the drawer and ate the entire brand new bag.
Let's go ahead and add a little bit of salt. I know that looks like I was putting a lot, but I wasn't. You gotta get some of that garlic in there. Now, having the garlic powder, I don't use fresh garlic nowhere near as often as I probably should. Some of the the seasoning got on the lid. Let's add just a little bit more in there. Ready? How do they do it in the cooking show? Bam! We'll let that cook for a minute or two. Oh, thank you, Connie. Appreciate it. My favorite dish to make. What's my favorite dish to make? Otherwise, if it's to make, it's a savory dish, and in Guam it's called kutdu, which basically just means soup. And it has chicken, potatoes, carrots, cabbage, and like I said, it's soup and it's chunky. But that is my favorite to eat over hot rice. That's my favorite to eat and make. For something that's sweet, my favorite dessert would be banana donuts. I'm going to be making a dessert tomorrow. It's not, and it's going to be made with bananas, but it's not the donuts. I'm actually going to be making banana lumpia. So since I'm going to be making regular lumpia, one's going to be made with turkey, the other one's going to be made with ground beef, and then I'm also going to be making banana lumpia. Yummy. So the pork chop, because I covered it, the pork chop is already starting to turn white. So let's go ahead and keep mixing that up. I just hope there's enough room for me to add the noodles. Initially, it's not going to look like it because the noodles, they're dry. So it's not going to look like there's going to be enough room in there, but there will be once it softens. But I'm going to wait until the most of the pork chop is has very little pink left before I add more of the chicken bouillon. I'm going to add water to it and let that cook for just a couple of minutes before I add the noodles. But I do got to make sure that there's enough sauce in here for the noodles itself to soak up. Oh, thank you. Hey, Presley. Good evening. Hello again. All right, so I'm going to add some soy sauce. And this is the less sodium. Normally, I try to go for the, I forgot to even look to see if they still had any of the last time I was here. If they had any more of the gluten-free. Oh, well. So I went with just the less sodium soy sauce.
Come on, Bree. Do it, Bree.
So right now I'm adding a lot of the wet ingredients. So I got the soy sauce. I'm going to add some more of the chicken bouillon. And then they're watching a basketball game. I believe it's the girls' team. They are it's Texas and South Carolina.
Texas can't play South Carolina ball. Ooh, look at Big Girl. Big Girl just knocking people down. She don't hit too.
All right, so it looks like most of the pork chops have lost most of their pink. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat up just a little bit. It was just on medium, now it's on medium high. Add the water. And I do have a special ingredient that is a little bit of a secret, so you guys don't get to see this next item that I'm putting in. But just know that I'm all about sweet and savory stuff. So I know some of them because most of my in-laws here, they do spicy, and I'm not big on spicy, but I mean, I can add a black pepper to this, but that's about it. But normally with a pancit dish, you can add even the pepper flakes. You can dice up chili peppers, red peppers, however you want to make this dish spicy. But what I just added in there, to me, it complements some of the other ingredients that I added. Hey, Lexi. Yes, I do need to add some black pepper to this. There, now I can show this again. Normally, I stopped using black pepper in a lot of my dishes because my mom, she's allergic. She's allergic. She's allergic to black pepper. She can't even do white pepper. She can eat jalapeno, but she can't do black pepper. Definitely a lot of sauce in here. And if you've been watching, hi baby, how's everything going? How's the weather over there? It definitely was hotter. It was in the low 80s today. It's hot for South Carolina. Not hot as in Texas. But I'm going to let this cook just for a couple of minutes so all of that flavor can like start to meld. And before I add the noodles. So, yeah. Like I said, these are the noodles I'm going to be. It's Friday. 60 and cloudy and slight rain. Yeah, it was partly cloudy today, but I'm using rice noodles. So yeah. So what I like to do is I like to break up the noodles. But that's why sometimes people will actually soak this in some water before putting it in there, just to make this step a little bit easier. But I don't always like to do things the easy way. Oops, I almost forgot to add an important ingredient. I don't Scissors. Where's the scissors? No scissors? It's okay. I just added a little bit of achoti powder. Hey Nicole. Hey Olivia. Good evening. So I just added a little bit of the achoti powder to give just a little bit of that smoky flavor. All right, I'm going to turn the heat back down. Get my shrimp. It's already cooked. So just to show you guys what it looks like right now. So this is, I know it looks like there's a lot of sauce, but that is a lot of noodles right there. And by the time all that's said and done, a lot of that sauce is going to disappear. Chicken nuggets. I love me some chicken nuggets. I like dipping it in sweet and sour sauce. So these are already peeled and deveined and tail off. Just gonna give that one more minute, and then I gotta taste this too. South Carolina. I just added the shrimp to that, so.
I think UConn gonna beat USC. UCLA.
I meant to actually turn the heat back up.
I think UConn's gonna beat it. Yeah.
I'm going to wait until I see it comes to a little bit of a boil. Okay, what? I just mixed some barbecue sauce and ketchup, and it's good. I like that too. And then sometimes I'll actually mix three. I do the ketchup, just a little bit of mustard, and a little bit of mayo. I like that. And then dipping with my fries in there too. Now I'm just gonna, I know I just put the shrimp in there, but I gotta taste it to make sure it's not too salty, because I did use the Better Than Bouillon. Yep. More water. It's a good thing I have. It's a good thing I have a lot of noodles to help sop that a lot of the juice up. But what's also going to help with that flavor, because it's still a little bit on that salty side from the bouillon, but having the shrimp in there will offset that flavor a little bit. But one more time. I mean, right now, you could probably just eat this over some rice. Turn that heat up just a tad bit more.
Yeah.
But downside about using the noodles, putting them in dry like this,
That's the third one.
is that it can get a little bit messy. Just a little bit.
Damn. Yeah, he knows that's a five. That's her third one.
I wish they had gotten video footage.
That's her third one. Huh? Yeah, it takes. When she in the zone, when she posts up, she can't move. And she was moving.
Trying to get now some of the sauce on top.
If the zone posted up, it would have been okay, but she moved. She was moving. Nigga pop out. In 1 minute.
Like I said, a lot of the sauce is getting sopped already by the noodles. So it's not as saucy as you guys saw there a moment ago.
Come on, Chuck. Come on, Chuck.
All right, now I'm lowering down the heat to a low because I already got the shrimp in there. Just trying to make sure that a lot of those noodles can get into that liquid. Yes, they are. They're rice noodles. All right. Let that cook for a few more minutes. I'm going to wait until 8 o'clock, and then I'm going to add the last ingredient, which is the cabbage. And I do have half a bag left of the second bag. I could probably add that in there still, maybe like half of that in there, but I don't know. What do you guys think? You know, for those of you guys that do YouTube, if you're a YouTuber yourself, and and I talked about this briefly on one of my last live streams, but have you guys noticed how one of the updates they did at the end of your live stream, how it pops up the little box that basically gives you a rundown of how your live stream went? You know, how many views, how long it was, and more importantly, how many watch hours you gained from it. I mean, I know they updated some stuff to your short videos, but I have to say, I don't like that update. I don't like that update that they did with taking away, showing just how much you earned in reference to your watch hours. Because when I go back on my laptop, because I can't exactly see it on my phone for the analytics after you've done a live stream. But when I go to my laptop to take a look at it, some of them don't even show what I've earned in reference to my watch hours. The ones here recently. Sometimes, I think on one of them, it's only shown what it's earned once I published it. And so I don't know. I don't know how that works. The more the more soy sauce. All right. It is 8 o'clock. Let's go ahead and give this one more stir. And add the cabbage. Just trying to make sure the cabbage gets buried in there, because it don't take long at all to cook.
That is the right way. Look.
So let me just show you guys real quick. Go. You got your shrimp, you got your veggies, chops, and just give this about minutes or so to make sure those noodles are finished cooking and the cabbage is tender. But you see what I mean? You see how it looked very soupy before I added the noodles? Now all that flavor has been soaked up by the noodles. Trying to bury more of these cabbage here. Trying to get them nice and mixed. Like I said, I've lowered down the heat. I'm going to lower it just a little bit more. I don't want the heat to completely disappear because it's still cooking. And I made a mess in here. But there you go. Pancit. Rice noodle dish. Cabbage. Cabbage. Carrots. Yellow, red, and orange bell pepper. And then I have green and white onions. Now, one of the other things that can be done as an individual, normally I don't do that, but when you make your plate to add, basically to liven up the flavor, you take a little bit of the lime, just a little bit, squirt it on top of your plate. Now, some people also use lemon, but my mom suggested lime if you want to spruce up to kick up the flavor. But I'm going to wait another 2 minutes before I turn that off, and then it's all set. And then I got to clean up a little bit in here. Whew. So I think for when you're making pancit, the longest step is the prepping. Because with all the slicing and dicing, you know, it's the prepping that takes the longest for that. Because once you start cooking, you know, 20, maybe 30 minutes is what it takes from there. So to include the prep time, which is probably another 20 minutes at least, unless you have somebody helping you, and unless you're a pro at chopping veggies and onions, then you can probably knock out the prepping pretty quickly. But other than that, that's pretty much Pancit. Like I said, one of the last things I'm going to do is give that one more stir before I turn it off. And then it's ready to enjoy. I'm hot. Because it's warm in here when the stove is on. But I'll take a picture of it once I plate it, and I'll post it in my under the post tabs. So make sure you guys check that out if you guys want to see the end result of the pancit I made. But I'm going to go ahead and end the live stream here. If you haven't already done so, make sure you please hit that like button. It's not pointing that way, it's pointing towards me. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Again, I am trying to go live every day, so be on the lookout for that. Until then, stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. All right, you guys. Adios for now. Bye.
Mama, I think you ate all the thingies. I think you ate all the blackberry ones.